It is 8:55. Active shooter tragedies have been carried out in theaters, outdoor concerts, and unfortunately in the workplace, as we've seen recently here in our area in Harford County. So the question, many of you might have even asked yourself this: what do you do? Joining us today, security expert Jeff Craighead and business development manager Julian Taylor, both from Allied Universal. We're actually having an active shooter training session here at the station. They're here to kind of give all of us an idea of why this is so important. Thank you both for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome.
Just breaking it down, what are the things we need to be aware of in our workplace?
Just really be aware of your surroundings, any changes in any of the employees. Make sure you know where your exits are. Fire evacuation plans, things of that nature.
You talk about a plan, you know, that's a scary thing to think of. I think we all have a plan. You know, how do you follow through and actually make sure that you can do that plan?
Yeah, actually, Megan, sometimes things don't go as expected, but it's good to have some sort of an idea what you're going to do. Mm-hmm. Right at that point of time, it may be something pops into your mind: run, hide, fight. There's a very good video out there in the public domain by the City of Houston using DHS, the Department of Homeland Security money. Run. If you can escape and get away from the threat, that's the best thing. Yep. But that's only if it's safe to do so. If you can't do that, maybe you can go into a room somewhere and secure yourself there if it's got a lockable door, or you can barricade yourself there. If
it's an active shooter, you know that bullets could be flying. If you're hiding, you know, where do you need to protect yourself? You know, what are some things you can do to shield?
Well, you want to get out of the line of sight, so that the individual that's perpetrating this incident cannot actually see you. It's happening so quickly. Most of these incidents are completed within the first 5, 10, 15 minutes, and it's all over at that point. And it may be, if you can't run, if you can't hide, then you're confronted with a perpetrator. Maybe you've got to be prepared to defend yourself. But
then what?
Yes.
You fight?
Exactly. It's about self-preservation. You know, there's a mindset that if you think, I'm going to survive this, my advice is take a deep breath. I'm going to get out of this situation, and then do what you think is the appropriate thing to do to preserve your life.
Is the plan as simple as knowing you're going to run? Is that enough, or do we need to think, I'm going to run to, you know, this bathroom on the second floor, wherever it may be? Do you need to have those detailed?
Yeah, wherever you are. And it might be you just go to the local gym, or you go to a place of worship, a movie theater, unfortunately a concert that you mentioned before.
Right.
You know, where if something bad happens here, what am I going to do? After one of these incidents, I went into the local gym Saturday morning. I thought to myself, you know, as silly as this may seem, I want to know where the exit is. Yep. Just be prepared and then act appropriately.
I don't know if you remember, I'm sure you do, the DC sniper incident, you know, just down the street here. I remember they said never stand in one spot. You should always be moving. Do you recommend that? You know, if something's happening, if you're running, you know, run in a zigzag. Those are the things you always heard. Is that still true?
Well, actually, in the Mandalay Bay incident, people were scrambling all over the place, climbing over fences, you know. There were some good citizens that actually stopped their vehicles and allowed them to jump into the vehicles and get away from the scene. You will do anything at that point in time to get out of there. Obviously, if you're under fire and you know where that's coming from, maybe ducking and weaving will help. But in the case of that incident, nobody, it was just a hail of gunfire.
Yeah, there was nothing you could do.
It's a scary situation. Any other advice? You know, we're fortunate enough to get to pick your brains a little bit later today, but anything else that you can tell our viewers maybe to take home?
Just be aware of your surroundings is really key. Looking at any changes in the fellow employees. Mm-hmm. And like Jeff said, make sure you know where the exits are and what your fire evacuation plan is.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. I appreciate your time and your time later with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Megan.